Hey everybody, it's Jim. Thanks for joining Song Tripping again. We're continuing with our album review series of A Very Merry Christmas, which came out of the Grants department stores, and we're up to volume 5. And I'll show you the album cover here. And what happened here, some big changes when we go from album number 4 to album number 5 in this series. Note down here, we've switched labels from Columbia Special Products to RCA. Big switch. And you have a new roster of artists appearing. Also, let me show you the label. It's on Dynaflex. Dynaflex vinyl. Why do they call it Dynaflex? Because it's flexible, like a frisbee. This could double as a frisbee. This is the much maligned RCA Dynaflex vinyl. Doesn't sound quite as good as what we were getting on the Columbia albums. And to be honest, when you compare the artist lineups, the RCA bench is not as deep as Columbia's bench. We're going to take you through these tracks. Let me show you our back cover here. And on side 1, we get the ball rolling with Perry Como, Home for the Holidays. It's a song that's comfy and cozy. It's a little silly, goofy. Perry Como's voice, it's like a pillow. You can just fall asleep on it. But he is a smooth customer, and the song does have a swing feel to it, and it rises to a nice peak by the end of the song. Then we go with the Robert Shaw Chorale, and this is a medley, O Little Town of Bethlehem and The First Noel. I feel like I'm in church all of a sudden. I better keep my mouth shut. It's all a little too solemn for me. The momentum that started with Perry's tune, it just screeches to a halt. This is just far too slow and too solemn. Then we go with Ed Ames, the Ballad of the Christmas Donkey. Here's Ed. This is an interesting, obscure song. The title, The Ballad of the Christmas Donkey, it's not auspicious, but I think it's one of the highlights of the album. Imagine the Ugly Duckling story sort of translated into a Christmas setting. This donkey has a self-image deficit, and he gets to witness, however, the birth of the Christ child, which is pretty special. So it's just nice, sweet little song, and with tasteful orchestration. Ed does a nice job singing it. Another album highlight comes from Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops, and this is Sleigh Ride. And I don't know, is this the most famous version of Sleigh Ride? It sounds like it. It sounds definitive to me, and it really gallops along with a lot of glee. It's just wonderful version of it. Then we've got John Gary. Here's John Gary, and he sings Sweet Little Jesus Boy. The title strikes me as a little bit odd, but we're back in the doldrums again. It's a sludge-paced ballad, very overdone earnestness. I mean, it's pretty. He's got a nice voice, but it's also pretty forgettable. And can you tell I don't like this album as much as the volumes 3 and 4? In fact, all the first 4 Columbia albums are far superior. This particular song has its roots in Negro spirituals, and I think that in the right hands it would have been better handled. But John Gary, as nice as he sounds, I just wasn't really very taken with his version of it. And then we close out side 1 with Eddie Arnold, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. It comes as a relief to get some lighter fare to close out the side. This is the type of song that I think lends itself well to a country and western treatment, and there's this kind of light western swing feel to Eddie's cover. It's kind of straightforward, but very mirthy and nice. No complaints here. Moving on to side two, we're back to it's like instrumental artist Henry Mancini, although he does have a choir who's unidentified singing along with his band. And it's a medley, Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's a fun enough, but pretty forgettable. Doesn't do a whole lot for me. Then we have Harry Belafonte here, and he sings Christmas is Coming. This is a quirky little tune. It's in its way, small way, is a highlight on the album. I love the way it fades in, and it sounds like there's a fife and drum corps, like you're just kind of, it's sort of cinematic, like you kind of feel like you're out on the street and you come across Harry and his pals singing this song in the round. It's a nice catchy arrangement, and Harry's a great artist. Then we go with Mario Alonso and Oh Holy Night. There's different ways to cover this song. If you want the operatic treatment, go with the Mario Lanza. He sings it with lots of pleading gusto. He's an overpowering showstopper type of performer. But I have to admit, I prefer less histrionic covers of this song. It's all a little too much for me. Next is the Norman Luboff Choir, and they do a medley. Little Drummer Boy and Hark the Herald Angels sing. Most of it's Little Drummer Boy, and then they tack on a very brief Hark the Herald Angels sing. I think they could have done without the Hark the Herald. That just sounds kind of churchy, but I do like their cover of Little Drummer Boy. And the choir is very atmospheric. There's a lot of space and reverb, and it creates an interesting little vibe, and the drumming's nice. And then we finish with Perry Como again. He started this off, and he's going to close us out. Perry's with his pals, and they come caroling at your doorstep, singing a medley, Here We Come a Caroling, and We Wish You a Merry Christmas. They sound like a happy band of carolers, and it just sort of goes by pretty quickly. But to recap the album, we have fallen off the Olympian heights of volumes 3 and 4, and to me the compilation just isn't as much fun. There's way too many medleys. There's too much solemnity and sincerity. The lighter fare, there is some on here, and that helps. That's the most rewarding part of the album. Things like the Eddie Arnold and the Harry Belafonte and the Sleigh Ride by Arthur Fiedler. But the sleeper track, the one maybe why you would want to get the album, track it down, would be for the Ed Ames, the Ballad of the Christmas Donkey. That one is a really kind of a fun and nice sentimental song too. So this album has nostalgia value for me because I listened to it a lot growing up, but I have to confess it's not among my favorite Christmas albums. Let's see if Volume 6 can pick up the slack. We're going to stay on the RCA label for Volume 6, so we'll see if there's any room for improvement here. Thanks for listening and watching my review. If you like it, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you get notified. And thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.